And I think, the reason I brought it up in this post is there were so many, African American people feeling pride that he was representing them, and so whether or not he's going to do anything about it in office, I don't think that was really the point. It was just, the pride that they were feeling at that point. And I mean, I saw so many talk shows the next day and so many people the next day standing in line for newspapers because they were so prideful that, someone of their color was finally representing them. And so, I mean, I think he'll do great. Even if he was white, black, Hispanic, Asian, that's not the point. But I was just trying to showcase that, those people in Chicago were really glad that he had finally come into office, I guess.
There's a lot of emphasis on the color of his skin, and it's not about that. Whatever, like, it's cool. Like, it's just that it's the fact. I don't think people are like understanding that it's like you said that someone in Louisiana like wished he was dead. People are making this a race issue, and it's not like that. That's my argument. Like, it's not pride for what? I mean, it's not about that. Like, I feel that as if like some of the people didn't really watch what during like his debates, and people just were saying it because of the color of his skin and not because of what he was actually, saying he was going to do for the country. And it would be really disappointing that he didn't do what he promised, and people would feel like fools for supporting Obama, and he showed up with nothing. And it's not a race issue. We all come from different places, and people shouldn't be emphasizing on the color of his skin.
We had a global history class where we were talking about what makes America America. Mm-hmm. And it's like that we all have a common link to immigrants. USA is practically made up of everybody that came from another place.
I totally agree that it shouldn't be a race issue, but over the course of his campaign, people have made it that. And I think people have made it a race issue, at least African Americans, because finally there's someone of their heritage representing them in this high office. And I think if America's made up with all these diverse people, then there should be a diverse people representing them in the political world. And I think that's probably why African Americans were so prideful of this, because, he may be half white, he may be half black, but he still has some African American blood in him, and there's never been even fourth African American or half African American as the president. I think people found it refreshing that finally someone like them was representing them in office.
Dominique, I hear you saying that you understand the emotional reaction people have, but you want us to stop and think also.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the sense of pride, but that's the reason why the country is the way it is, because people are just focusing on where he's from.
So you're worried that feeling of pride represents some of the racism that still is in our country?
People might take this pride into extreme and do things, hurtful things, or I don't know. I don't want people to feel powerful than other people because they think that, now we're running, now we have someone that's representing us. No, he's not representing just you, not just black people. He's representing me, too. I don't want that. He has to represent me because I'm also a citizen in the United States. And I know he's not, but what I'm trying to say is that I don't want people to think that, Barack Obama is my dude, he's colored, so then he's going to focus more on a certain race and not the other. He's going to neglect this other. That's the way people sometimes come off.
Katie, can I ask you to say a little more about coming from Salt Lake City and somebody like Dominique or Farisa who have never been to Salt Lake City? We have our own prejudice about you guys.
Okay, I go to a private school because if you go to public school here, it's basically like Mormon school, and since I'm not Mormon, I'm kind of a minority, especially if I lived outside of Salt Lake in cities which are like an hour away, like Provo and Orem. They're probably 96% LDS, which is the Mormon religion. And so as a younger kid, I was outed for not being Mormon and not having the same ideas and ideals as them, like super conservative. So it's pretty weird living here, especially when you have ideas. Like, all my next door neighbors are super Mormon, so when we put an Obama sign out, we kind of got scorned at and stuff. And so it's been interesting growing up here. When I go to other cities, I'm seriously amazed at how busy and diverse they are. And obviously I've traveled a lot, but then you always come back home and everyone looks the same, acts the same, and it's frustrating at times, but not all of us are Mormon and conservative.
I think that's why everybody loves New York, because it's like everybody's here. Like every type of culture is here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Even if you have closed-minded people, they have like their own little community, and they won't bother anybody else and stuff like that. If you walk into Times Square, you'll see everyone.
That's what's amazing about New York. There's a lot of diversity going on. There's no certain culture. There's so much cultures that you don't feel insecure about yours, or you don't feel awkward. You have your own thing going on.
In New York, I don't think anybody could pull the race card.
No, they can't.
Because the more people I meet, I haven't met a person that's racist yet, like in New York. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I definitely have. I met this girl on this bus. She was Caucasian, and she said that she went to a dirty place where there was ghetto people. There's racism in New York, but it's overshadowed by all the cultures that are here.
It doesn't show.
Yeah, it doesn't show.
There's a lot of racism in Utah. I mean, in Salt Lake it is more diverse, but just to give you an idea of my school, one of the more, open-minded, diverse places, I probably have maybe 3 African-American kids in my whole class. So, and maybe 10, 15 Hispanic people, and then a few Asian kids, and the rest, it's just all white. So it gets frustrating at times. But even we're all there because we're sick of dealing with the closed-minded people. That's mostly why people go to judge, because that's my school judge. People are really judgmental too. If you're not blonde, white, Mormon, blue-eyed, you're kind of weird. I don't know. It's pretty weird.
Oh man. Ugh.
Also, in my post, I said, in this still racist nation is I live in a place where even today, we're not in the South, but people are still talking about, in the newspaper today, or not today, a few days ago, there's 2 newspapers. One's this independent newspaper, and then one is owned by the Mormon Church. And it was talking about Barack Obama, how he's black, how it's kind of a disgrace to the nation, and it's just kind of sad to see that.
Nah, that's so ignorant.
That's not fair.
If he was wow. That's
Dominique, I just want to not allow us to feel so comfortable for a second, though, and just think about Katie being this person who's more open-minded than her neighbors, and then she's shocked by the local newspaper and so forth, and so she posts this thing on Youth Voices and gets accused of being maybe having some racist attitudes herself, right? So can you imagine how that might feel, in some way?
I mean, hey, I give you props, I couldn't imagine, I can't imagine being in a town where you are, if you don't have blonde hair, blue eyed, you're just, I couldn't imagine. I would love to see those, that they're Caucasian. I would like to see them come to New York and see how long they'd last in this, and how they'd function around this area. I don't think that they would last, and I think that they would probably I guess I'm glad that you're not closed-minded like they are, and you should be very proud of yourself if you live in a very racist area, and yet you have managed to see outside the box, and you managed to accept that other cultures, and you're not as closed-minded. So consider yourself more, I guess, intelligent and less ignorant than they are.
Yeah.
So